Welcome guys, in this video we're going to be taking a look at just an introduction to logarithms and just evaluating logarithms. Alright, so your first question might be, and I know that you've had some experience with logarithms in the past, hopefully pre-calc's not the first time you're seeing them, but there's definitely a fair chance that you maybe forgot how to work with them, so that's what we're going to cover here. So starting, this is really what every single logarithm is going to look like. This is read as log base b of x. All right, so if I'm reading that out loud, again, that's log base b of x. And b and x could be filled in, maybe they're not. We're going to look at different types of problems. For all of our problems today, we are going to have both b and x filled in. So what exactly does this mean? What is this logarithm asking us to do? So whenever you see this log base b of x, this problem is asking us, or if we were to evaluate this, the answer would be b to what power equals x. All right, that's how I think of this. Think b to what power equals x. To what power equals x. And that's going to be what the logarithm is equal to. So just taking a look down here, let's start off with a nice and basic example. We have evaluate log base 3 of 9. Well, how do I evaluate this? I'm asking myself 3 to what power equals 9? And really, whenever we have this what power, right, we can fill that in by using a variable. That's what we're trying to solve for, is 3 to what power. So 3 to the x has to be equal to 9. Well, we know that 9 is 3 squared. Excuse me. So 3 to the x has to equal 3 squared, meaning that this x that we kind of created must be equal to 2. So log base 3 of 9 is equal to 2. Again, 3 to what power equals 9? Well, of course, that's just 2. All right, well, that's a nice and basic example for us. Let's take a look here. Let's evaluate log base 4 of 1/8. All right, and I can throw that in parentheses just to make sure we can see what's going on here. So log base 4 of 1/8 is saying 4 to what power equals 1/8. All right, so 4 to what power equals 1/8? I'm going to write it as 4 to the x has to be equal to 1/8. All right, well, we just learned how to solve these problems when we were solving exponential equations. So that's 2 to the 2x equals 1 over 2 cubed. So 2 to the 2x equals 2 to the negative 3. Now I can set my exponents equal to each other, and x has to be equal to negative 3 halves. So log base 4 of 1/8 has to equal negative 3 halves. All right, now sometimes we're going to get logarithms that are just impossible for us to evaluate, such as, let's think of log base 5 of 50. Okay, we would be wondering, okay, 5 to what power equals 50? Well, I can both write these as powers of, and there's nothing that lines up. So what we do next is, well, how can we use a calculator to evaluate this and find what is log base 5 of 50 equal to? So before we jump into that, let's just talk about maybe sometimes we've seen log written and it doesn't have a base attached to it. So what does it really mean when log is written with no base? If there is no base written, it is implied that that is log base 10. All right, so if there is no base specified, assume that it's 10. It is really implied. It is implied that the base is 10. All right, and you've probably seen this button on your calculator, just the button that says log. And that's going to be important because we are going to use that shortly. Well, what would log of 100 be equal to? Of course, that's log base 10 of 100. So this problem is asking me 10 to what power equals 100? That, of course, is just 10 squared, so that's equal to 2. All right, so we're going to talk quickly about this property that is known as the change of base property. If we are given log base b of x, what we can do is say, all right, well, I'm going to change the base. I don't like this base b, so I'm going to change that base. And what you can do is you can write it as log of x over log of b, as long as these both have the same base. And the reason for that is, and the reason that this is really important, is we could just evaluate it as log of x over log of b. So it's very important to realize that these two are the same, because then we can just easily type into our calculator log of x divided by log of b, because while the calculators can do log base b of x, it's a little bit harder to find on the calculator, whereas the log button is just right there. Boom, we can do log of x divided by log of b. So let's just take a look at a problem with that. Again, let's just see, why is this change of base useful at all? So let's evaluate log base 5 of 50 using a calculator. So let's just start off. I've got log base 5 of 50. I can write it as log of 50 divided by log of 5. And again, the reason I'm able to do that is the change of base formula, and we are saying that both of them have the same base, and that base is 10. So now I can just go to my calculator and type that in. So I go here, calculator, and I've got log down here along the left side of the calculator, log of 50. Make sure you close those parentheses there. On my calculator, they're already there, but on yours, it's likely that they're not. So log of 50 divided by log of 5. And we get 2.43, and we'll just round it to the nearest, let's say, thousandth. So let's say that's 2.431. Okay, I'll round that, 2.431. So again, what are we actually doing? We're saying that 5 to the 2.431 power is equal to 50. All right, again, 5 to the 2.431 power should be equal to 50. Let's go back and let's just give that a shot. So I'm going to go 5 caret, and then if I want to recall this 2.431, I can hit the second button, and then if you look above the negative, it says answer, or ANS. That stands for answer. That just means it's going to input the value of your last answer, which our last answer was 2.431. So when we do this, we should get out 50. Boom. We get out 50, so we know that we did it correctly. All right, I hope that this video helped you. For homework, you are just going to be evaluating some logarithms, some without a calculator, some with a calculator.